Thank you for tuning in to Choose Your Character. On this episode, we will be going into spoilers from the following: Avengers Endgame,
Game of Thrones, Episode 4.
Abraham Lincoln dies at the end of Lincoln.
If you have not seen the following, this is your spoiler alert. Thank you, and enjoy the show.
I don't know if that was better or worse than Grown Ups 2.
When that movie came out, I saw someone complain that they saw a spoiler about the end of that movie. I was just like, where do you live? It's like someone spoiled to me.
Definitely not in America.
I mean, I'd be disappointed.
It's about the Civil War.
But it's just like, I didn't know Abe Lincoln was going to die in that movie. I know he does die, but it's just like...
You didn't know if that's where they were going to leave off. They could have easily just left off with the Battle of Gettysburg.
Yeah, they should have just done, oh, Martha, just go into the play and then cuts out.
Do you guys remember National Treasure 2 when Nicolas Cage was overrelated to John Wilkes Booth?
Oh, God.
Yeah, I remember that.
I was at a diner with a few people from my class because it was like since we're all graduating, the program director took us out, and they put us right next to the television. We watched the first National Treasure, and then since it was Freeform, formerly ABC Family, and they do a lot of back-to-back showings, it was National Treasure, and then immediately followed National Treasure 2. And was even greater is that we were in Philadelphia watching all of these movies.
So you guys ended up doing it.
And that just marks 2 minutes.
2 minutes in?
Yeah.
All right. Well, okay, so first thing before we start, I want to thank everyone for joining us. This is episode 6, and we never were able to congratulate this individual. It's been probably about 2 months overdue. Sisto saw his first screening of The Room.
Oh yeah, we didn't mention that last episode.
No, we didn't.
Can I tell my Tommy Wiseau story?
Go ahead.
If you ever get the chance to meet this person, do it. Not because you'll be amazed, but you'll be stunned. Because this man is a different thing. Like, he's not even a human. This guy's a thing. I go up to him, and I'm with my girlfriend, Brianna, and we go up. She's, like, happy. She's never heard of this guy before today. She's just happy to meet someone semi-famous. But... So I walk up, and my dumbass, never seeing The Room, asked a very relevant question by accident. I'm like, what's your favorite flavor of cake? Like, this is before I saw, like, the birthday scene.
You're so funny.
Yeah. He goes, his response was, ha-ha! Nothing. I was like, whoa. Like, in my head, I'm like, are you not going to answer the question? Are you not going to? So I go up to him, and that's why if you see on her Instagram page, I'm so, like, far away from him, because I'm, like, creeped out. Like, this guy just laughed at a very, like, general question and didn't answer. So we take the picture, and he looks at me and goes, hey, so you asked me what my favorite cake is? Oh, it's a carrot cake. I'm like, all right, cool. I like carrot cake. And he goes, and I also like lemon cake. And I go, oh, well, who doesn't like that? And I walk off all happy. And so then the birthday scene comes where you find out,
that Mark and Lisa.
Yeah, Mark and the girl are
Johnny.
Clipping each other.
Yeah.
And you think a big carrot cake there. I'm like, how the hell is my question relevant? I came up there to like ask a bullshit question because I never met the guy and I wanted to ask something that's like clearly like random, catch him off guard. And this guy fielded it like a champ. Like I thought I threw him a curveball and he ended up hitting it out of the park.
He was like, just reading the script and it's just like Lisa brings out a carrot cake and she's like, okay, my favorite flavor was carrot.
Yeah. Well, like, what the fuck?
My favorite thing about that post was like Brianna was just like, oh yeah, get up for the picture, and she's like right next to him. You do like I'm not making fun of you just because you feared his power that much that you were just like awkwardly.
You were doing a hover hand.
I'll be honest, it didn't feel as far as it looked. Like I was like, I thought I was. I thought it was legitimately up next to this guy. And then I look at the picture, I was like, what the fuck? Is he Flash or something? Like,
it takes a lot to break that.
And then I look like I don't want to touch this guy, and
no one's blaming you at all.
He smells like sweat and Red Bull.
When I met him and did the photo, he legitimately reeked of Red Bull. I didn't know you could reek of Red Bull, and he reeked of Red Bull.
That's probably what he showers in.
Jesus.
I still don't know where this guy gets his money. I don't know.
No one knows.
So there's, because I read, that's another good book recommendation, Read the Disaster Artist before you watch the movie, if anybody hasn't yet. There's a couple of theories, because it's written by Greg Sestero, who played Mark.
Testosterone. Testosterone. That's a thing that you say during the movie when he tries to push
okay.
Peter off the ledge.
I didn't know that one.
Testosterone.
Okay, so
Jesus Christ.
There's a couple of theories how he earned as well. One of them was that he got in a bad accident in Europe and just took that money and
that'll explain a lot.
And invested it in real estate. That's why he was doing so well. But other than that, I think that's the main big one. My
he had a leather
theory,
jacket business.
My theory, and shout out to Brendan for his most consecutive. Every episode I've mentioned him. But
we mentioned him in the last one?
Yes, I did.
We did.
Christ.
I'd never met Brendan before, but thank you for your continued support of our channel and various medias. Like, thank you. Like, when I ever meet you, I'll buy you a drink. Like, thank you.
Me and him both believe that he is secretly D.B. Cooper. Have you ever read about D.B. Cooper?
Cooper?
D.B. Cooper.
Really, you think?
You know D.B. Cooper, the guy
Yeah, I know who D.B. Cooper is. Yeah,
the most
I said D.B. Cooper. My apologies.
It makes sense because no one ever heard of him. He had a weird accent. No one knew what ever happened to him. And he had roughly like what equivalent to like $5 million in negotiable bearer bonds when he jumped out of the plane.
I just know he jumped out of a plane. I don't know.
So he jumped out of the plane, did what he had to do, changed his identity. And then, lo and behold, he's Tommy Wiseau and wants to make a movie.
So, D.B. Cooper, what year would that put him?
Yeah, but the thing is, no one knows his age either.
No, but what year did D.B. Cooper rob the plane?
Late 70s, I believe?
Tommy Wiseau doesn't look that old.
But nobody knows 50s. How old he is. But no one also knew how old D.B. Cooper was either. They said, like, mid-20s.
It's possible.
The truth is out there.
You should ask him at another showing.
I want to believe.
He comes back at least once a year.
I'll probably end up dead somewhere. This is gonna be the recording too. If I go up to Tommy Wiseau and say, "Are you DB Cooper?" and you guys don't see me, you know what happened.
When we were there, Lex was just like, "Go open the Q&A and ask him what his spirit animal is. If it could be an animal, what would he be?" I was like, "You do it." She's like, "No, I don't want to." It's just like, why? And she's like, I don't want to talk to him. It's just like,
you can already imagine the answer.
That's my answer. Sit down. Anyway, so let's actually get to our topics. Citizen Kane, yeah. So at first, we're going to talk about Game of Thrones. We were going to start talking about Endgame in the beginning, but we have more topics down the line that match up with that topic more. So what do you guys think of Game of Thrones so far? I have my very deep opinions.
I still hasn't seen it.
I saw a money line, or pretty much a money line, I think, of who was supposed to take Westeros. Is that the name of the overworld?
Yeah,
Westeros. The leader is Bran. He's plus 250.
What?
And then no way. Sansa, and then Jon Snow is a plus 450.
Bran's never going to be the king of Westeros because
I think it's going to be Tyrion, because that would be like the funniest thing.
I don't know.
Tyrion does have most wine consumed on screen, so it's possible.
Yeah, IGN made a report. It was 96 at that point.
Yeah, and Cersei was only like 50 something.
Yeah, it's more now because before the Battle of Westeros he was drinking. Then the Battle of Westeros, he was obviously hiding in the crypt the entire time.
And then he got drunk in episode 4.
Yeah, and then he was drinking. He was doing the drinking game with Jaime, Podrick, and Brienne. So
he's in the hundreds now.
He's got to be.
Okay.
He's got to break 200 or 100. What?
What happened to Tyrion now?
He just drinks a shit ton of wine, and somebody recorded how much wine he actually drinks.
Yeah, he has the most consecutive or most scenes in the entire show of him drinking wine.
Huh, makes sense.
Yeah.
But
Peter Dinklage, Jersey boy.
Yep.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know
he's an angry elf.
You call me an elf one more time, see what happens.
He must be a South Pole elf. So okay, I'll start off my opinion.
Sure, because I'm going to disagree with it, but go on.
Well, so first 2 episodes, I was like, okay, establishing what's going on. Personally, I think the Battle of Westeros was pretty okay. There was a lot of people bitching about how they wanted more deaths. I'm not sure why you wanted that, but okay. There's obviously going to be a bigger battle later with Cersei and Daenerys. Well, at that point, we thought it would be. Yeah, I didn't have too much of an issue with the Battle of Westeros. People did have the issue that Jon didn't have the final blow with the Night King. Since, that was his entire story arc, was him going to the north, like, first episode, he becomes a raven. Or it's a raven, right? That's yeah. And that's, he's dealing with the wildlings, and then, he has his entire thing with I forget who the wildling character was that he falls in love with and loses his virginity. Yeah.
I didn't forget.
That was his story arc. And then we roll around to episode 4. You have the Starbucks cup thing. Hold on. I had my issue with it. I've now come to terms that, that stuff that happens on film set, it's a little less, like, I understand that, like, okay, maybe, like, a PA accidentally leaves his water bottle on the shelf in the back, and, like, that's the flub. But for this one, it's a little harder for me to get over because it's a cup in front of Emilia Clarke. Like, it's in her line of view because she's looking at Jon. She's looking at Jon and did not see this cup. And for whatever reason, they were like, all right, cut the take. Like, or cut, redo, reset. Like, I don't know. I'm a little upset about that, but I've been on film sets, so I understand that shit happens. But, and then we had another issue that I had was when Daenerys eventually goes away from Winterfell to go to, it's not King's Landing, it's Dragon's Reach.
Dragon's Reach, I think it is. Yeah.
Yeah. So she goes there. She doesn't see Euron's fleet somehow.
To be fair, they can argue plot because she's been able to see before. I'm sorry for interrupting. You really shouldn't be able to see shit riding a dragon flying, but that's like my opinion. Like, it's all the dragon. It really is all the dragon that's flying, because she can't see shit unless they invent goggles. She really has no way to control what she's fucking doing up there.
Well, first thing, and I'll insert this clip here.
Do you ever drive a car with the top down and to just stick your head over the glass? That's basically what's going on.
No, if I did that, I'd get into an accident.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, well, so I'll insert this clip here from one of the writers from Game of Thrones as to why she is so vulnerable to attack.
And dozens more are mounted on the decks of the Iron Fleet. While Dany kind of forgot about the Iron Fleet and Euron's forces, they certainly haven't forgotten about her, and they're just waiting for her to come back. At this point, they would have gotten news that her armies emerged victorious and were going to head south, and so they're just waiting in ambush for her return.
They say that Daenerys forgot Euron existed. That's the reasoning. That's the reason why they were ambushed so easily, was because Daenerys forgot about her enemy.
That had
Why
to
are
have
they
been
adding flaw this late to that character?
Look, I would have taken...
Like, I feel like how I hear Daenerys explained by every Game of Thrones fan is that she is the greatest on Earth. Like, I feel like that's
she does have her flaws because she's arrogant. She's very... Like,
I can imagine just out of pure rage, again, out of pure rage, just being like, no, fuck it, I don't care about Euron's fleet, I can beat them, and that's how she fucked up.
I would have been more okay if they said she was in her head. She was thinking about, what's his name?
Missandei?
No, the knight that just died. The one that's been her with
Jorah,
her,
yeah.
Jorah. Say that she was in her head thinking about Jorah. Because Jorah...
And Jon Snow.
And then she's thinking about Jon being, have the possibility of overthrowing her since he has a stronger claim to the throne. And say that she wasn't paying attention. There's ways of making it seem like she wasn't paying attention, and then she gets blindsided.
I would chalk it up to PR nightmare.
Yeah.
Because...
It was a really dumb answer.
Remember how Mark Hamill wrote during The Last Jedi that he didn't like Luke's arc, and then Disney must have said something
They pretty much erased all evidence of him saying that.
Even though we have it, he does say it, and then it's just like, well, here's my opinion now. It just reminds me of that, where it's just like I guarantee he would
Mark
correct
Hamill
his answer.
is about to get sued for everything he was worth if he didn't retract that line.
Yeah.
You can't shit on the movie that you were signed to do. That's definitely somewhere in the contract.
I feel like you should have liberty to give your feedback to the directors as often as possible.
I mean, Alec Guinness said, I didn't know any of this shit, but they gave me money, so...
Yeah, but that's Alec Guinness, not Mark Hamill, who's dedicated most of his career to this franchise.
Yeah. And giving your opinion to the director, that's one thing, but he said it in an interview, which could be, that's an issue, because, like, if Luke's the poster child, like, that's a person that everyone was excited to see in the Star Wars series, and him saying that he's not happy where it's going, that's going to turn off all the fans.
Sorry, this was a huge segue.
Yeah.
But going back to I understand, like I said, I understand why you're upset. I'm not going to be like, yeah, fuck all the haters, I cannot wait for the next episode. I do have my issues, but it's just like, this series has taken a lot of people by storm and brought a lot of people into the fantasy genre.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want it to turn into this giant dumpster fire because you have dedicated fans that immediately just shit on it.
So what are you mad about again?
I'm not upset. It's just me and Mike got into a heated argument about it.
It was because I was more upset with the coffee cup.
And I was just like, Mike, dude, it's a fucking cup.
Well,
and then, but you ended up calming down, so
it's
fine now. But I'm just like, it's... Everybody just thinks there's these little instances that are the catalyst of this huge fucking disaster. And our free folk on Reddit, I had to unfollow because there's just so much of
they've been making a lot
fire.
of real quick, they've been making a lot of really funny content because there's a shot of Varys like falling over and looking like he's vomiting. And they made one where Daenerys is riding on his back, destroying King's Landing with dragon's breath. They did one where it was Jaime and Cersei in the tower when Bronn gets pushed out the window, and Jaime's all sweaty behind him, and Varys. I'll post it on our Instagram. It's pretty great. But go ahead, Sisto.
I can see why you're upset at Mike, but I'm gonna defend Mike here. Mike's whole life, and he's a huge. No, stop. Let me.
You're right. I apologize.
His whole interest deals with TV and film. He sees that he's gonna get more upset with it than other people. Just like the regular everyday person watching Star Wars will be fine with Luke dying the way he is. However, we watched it and we're like, what the fuck was that? Or even when a normal person would watch Attack of the Clones and see Anakin and Padme kiss, they'll be like, oh, that's cute. Anakin falls in love. Star Wars fans see it and they go, oh, come on.
Yeah.
So my rebuttal to that is, I do respect the fact that yes, that is your field, and yes, you had the right to be upset with it. Initially, though, you were like, that was it. That's it. That's the, like,
well,
I can't believe they... But the thing is, I'm sorry for interrupting, you did calm down, and I respect your opinion now, because you are right, and you're just like, yeah, no, this is a mistake, but it's just like, nobody else has calmed down, and that's why I I don't like where the fan base is
I think
going.
Game of Thrones is on one of the tightest time schedules you can be in a TV show. Like, amongst soap operas, they're, like, really tight scheduled.
I do want to.
Even
I do
though
want
they're
a
not a soap
prequels.
opera, but-
I don't want the hate to be drawn out so much where it's just like, well, we're canceling the prequel.
That's
series.
never going to happen. They're making way too much money off of this series.
You'd be surprised. They dumped all the solo movies for the Star Wars story movies because of what happened with The Last Jedi.
I don't think we're at that caliber yet. I
just don't want that to happen.
However,
I realize that Kenobi's not an attractive franchise right now.
And also,
based on everybody who's not a fan of Kenobi, but
based on the next 2 episodes of Game of Thrones, that will determine if they fuck it up. Which, I mean, if writers are lazy enough to say that Daenerys forgot without explicitly telling us that she was in her head not thinking about Euron, then if they're gonna be that lazy, that scares me, because if they're just gonna give some willy-nilly answer of who wins the throne, and like they put like Podrick on the throne or some shit, like it's,
hold on, no,
They're not going to put
Podrick.
Podrick.
I mean, I was using that as a hyperbole of them putting like some random person.
That is the penis of the Seven Kingdoms you're insulting.
Jesus.
Well, yeah, because a lot of people were upset with Arya killing the Night King is because, like I said, it was Jon's arc and was really random for Arya to kill him. I didn't have that much of an issue with it.
I didn't either.
But someone was like, think about this. What if it's Harry Potter? Harry Potter goes through his entire thing, and then Hermione's the one that kills Voldemort.
Because she was written well enough and a supportive character, yeah, it would have been fine if Hermione killed Voldemort.
Or like if Leia somehow manages to kill Vader.
Same thing with Leia, because she's included in the story.
I mean, that's the what people were saying. They're saying that like if the main character
It's kind of like they
kill the main villain.
turned Jon Snow into Indiana Jones. Whereas Indiana Jones plays no role into the final outcome of his arc.
Mm-hmm.
Not necessarily as extreme.
Well, not no role, but like he doesn't contribute to the end as much as you thought.
Well, yeah, the first Indiana Jones would have happened without Indiana Jones. That's been a meme for a while. That was brought up in the Bong Bing theory.
Can you say that again?
You mean the Big Bang Theory?
Yeah, that's ending this Thursday, by the way. Shout out Bazinga, Bulgaria,
Stop,
Knock Penny.
Stop.
I have my gripes for that show.
You're looking at a proud top fan.
That's how we even
member.
became friends over Big Bang Theory.
Yeah.
In Miss Pinder's math class.
We're both
Pinder.
looking at the top member
Miss
of the
Pinder.
kids who watch Big Bang Theory. Parents whose kids watch the Big Bang Theory.
Yeah, shout out to that group run by a kid that I went to Drexel with. So there's actually a few Drexel people in there.
But,
soon to be alums.
Turning back to Game of Thrones. My gripe with the Battle of Winterfell was there was a lot of poor tactics, and there's a lot of people who said they could have done that. But here's my defense in why they did poor tactics. A lot of great military leaders are not there.
Yeah.
I mean, you have Grey Worm, but he's not a commander. He's a
front, like he's
a front man, front line who knows how to command troops.
Are you talking
not
about
a strategist?
Game of Thrones or
Game
real
of
life
Thrones,
person?
I'm
I was
sorry.
going to say.
No, his name's
there's a good amount of them in real life.
Yeah, but there's a guy who I wish I wrote down his name for this. He does break down cinematic battles, and then he does his version of what they could do better. He did the same thing for Battle of the Bastards.
Yeah.
But you talking about the cavalry?
The Dothraki get charging head first. I would say it's like somebody should have stopped them, but nobody was going to stop a Dothraki horde. I think they just thought you could scare the dead out, because that's the point of their horde charge. You just break the enemy's morale while you're riding into them, because they're just huge, massive, and just no mercy kind of thing. It's a big fair tactic. Somebody should have said the dead don't react to that well, but you know.
Yeah, and that's
there was a good strategy. I'm sorry for interrupting.
I was just gonna say I like how the Total War fandom was just like, if we had the power, that battle would have been done. Like we would have defeated the dead before they even crossed into
Shout out
Winterfell.
Nick Gallo, because Nick Gallo was very vocal in complaining about the cavalry.
Yeah, I'm a big Total War fan as well.
But there was a good, like I said, that video, It's like 12 minutes. I'm going to post it onto the chat, or not the chat. I'm going to post it onto the page when I have a chance because it reinforces my point. The big point of the Battle of Winterfell was delaying tactics until the Night King was like evaded out so you can kill him.
Yeah.
My point with that, it should have been instead of just having one line around Winterfell, like one trench line, put it into a series of trench lines and a funneling point where the dead would come in. Because they wouldn't just climb over and break down. Once they have a funnel point, they'll just go in. And then have a big gap of land in between that choke point that would just have the Dothraki horde riding back and forth and doing what their thing so they can turn around, recover, and then go back. The next line would have been, a hardened, like another line of trench, hardened archers just doing what they have to do. And also the trebuchets should not have been up front. They should have been on the fucking wall. You don't put trebuchets on the front line. And that was the other thing that pissed me off that not a lot of people noted.
Yeah.
You put them on the walls because that's what you were supposed to fucking do.
Yeah, and I'm sure the trebuchet subreddit was upset about that as well.
Oh god, I bet.
I love that subreddit. There's a trebuchet subreddit.
What's a trebuchet?
A trebuchet.
It's a superior. We can't say it's a superior catapult, or we'll have that entire fandom come after us.
Wait. So happened? there's two Reddit pages called R Catapult and R Trebuchet, and they're a trebuchet
is an artillery. So it's not a catapult, but you know that it's like on really long. It's like pillars, and like it swings back and like flings forward. You would probably recognize it if we showed you a photo of it.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Munchie's pulling up a photo of it now. It's actually been theorized that it's never actually existed.
So that's technically not a catapult?
No, because a catapult
because it's a different apparatus.
It's all about physics and stuff.
Oh.
It relies more on the weight being shifted and rotated.
Oh.
Where a catapult is
just kind
straight,
of flings it.
It's straight. Yeah, it straight relies on
the power.
Yeah.
In the arc. Understandable.
Where it's all rope taut strength, so it gets shot forward. The trebuchet relies on weights and whatnot.
Yeah, but that's completely beyond the point. But yeah, people were upset about that as well because that's just not a good strategy to have.
I'm actually surprised somebody in Total War hasn't recreated that battle yet, because you could technically do it in Warhammer with the army of the undead.
Yeah, there's the vampire nation or faction, and not really nations in the game.
But the thing is, though, it's right. Like, you weren't never supposed to win. I think that was the point of the battle. It was just, I don't know. If you had good strategists, but the point is you didn't. And so I think that's why it played out the way it did.
Yeah. Well, actually, now that I think about it, in Warhammer, the undead don't have a infantry type that would be similar to the undead. I mean, they have zombie forces, but they're slow and they decay. Yeah. I was thinking more of like maybe the Warriors of Chaos, because they have the corrupted unit that's all like deformed and stuff, and that sprint at the they cause fear. Like that's their big thing, is they're a fear and berserker unit. But anyway, so Sisto, do you have any thoughts about this or?
Hope you guys enjoy the future episodes.
Yeah, sorry about that, Sisto.
No, that's okay. I only know minimal about this show. It's a shame that I never picked it up, but I'm at the point where I know enough. But if I go back and rewatch it, it really wouldn't matter. I'd probably forget most of it. So,
I mean,
I plan on watching it eventually. One day.
I mean, do you have any points about the story itself other than the technical aspects and the bad writing?
I don't know. I don't really know who I want on the... I don't know who I want on the throne. I mean, obviously the answer is Jon.
My theory is
but that's never going to happen. Yeah.
Who pushed Bran off the tower?
Jaime.
I hope Bran kills Jaime.
No, Jaime's character arc is completely horseshoed. Like, he's went from completely like dedicated to Cersei to now he hates her. Actually, because it's like
he
he resents her for what she's become. And
he has an amazing arc. I will say Jamie does have one of the better arcs.
And so in the last episode, there's been a budding romance between him and a character named Brianna Tarth, who actually plays Captain Phasma.
Shout out to Tormund for handling that like a fucking champ.
Yeah, and so the thing is that she's not the typical woman that Jamie would kind of go after.
Die due to the First Order.
Well, yeah, so she's just this big hulking woman, and in the episode, they're all playing a drinking game. It's Tyrion, another character, Podrick, who was just a
Didn't
servant.
Brienne of Tarth die?
No, she doesn't.
No.
She is Podrick is a servant to Tyrion for a while, squire to Tyrion, and then he is adapted under Brienne's wing of sorts, and then Jaime's there as well, and they're all playing a drinking game, and they're all sloshed at this point, and they're basically like saying never. They're basically playing Never Have I Ever, and
not really. It's basically I'm gonna guess what your life is or what you've done in your life, and if I'm right, you drink, but if I'm wrong, I drink. That's the game.
Yeah,
it's not Never Have I Ever. It's more like I'm gonna call you out and see.
And Brienne is like, she's not supposed to be portrayed as this beautiful woman. She's very she's very tomboyish because she wants to be a knight, and she does become a knight. She comes before the Battle of Winterfell. She's knighted by Jaime, and she had to escort Jaime because he was captured by the Starks when the Starks were at war. They started at war, but when Robb was commanding.
Wait, with the Lannisters?
With the Lannisters. Mm-hmm. They captured Jaime in a battle, and it was Brienne's responsibility given by Catelyn Stark to deliver him back to Cersei, if I'm correct.
Yeah, Catelyn, though.
It was Catelyn Stark. Yeah. And so obviously they're at odds at first because they're on opposite sides of the war, and then they eventually start becoming more friendly into a point that's become slightly romantic, and because Jaime kind of respects her more than any other guy has, because a lot of guys see her as intimidating, and they also see her as a woman because it's medieval times. And so over this arc, and it finally kind of came to a head in this episode because they're all playing this game, and Tyrion goes, "I bet you're a virgin," and she is. And Jaime's kind of shocked by it too. And there's another character, Tormund, there, who is a wildling and is obsessed with her because she's kind of a barbaric society that's into like the big fruitful woman that'll bear strong children.
This is literally with the like orange beard that everybody on Twitter.
Oh yeah.
I fucking love Tormund. I have been rooting for that forever.
And he's been head over heels for Brienne since he saw her. And
he literally says in like last season, he's like talking about her like to this bunch of guys. He's just like, I'm gonna have big beautiful babies with her. We're gonna rule the world.
And like he's constantly like staring at her, giving her the side-eyed, winking at her and shit. And like
he also eats like a full my favorite scene with that is like they're all like eating at a table, and then just have Tormund just like hand over like a giant ass turkey leg and just go. And just like screwing him, eye screwing her while he's eating a giant turkey.
And also, there's a very funny scene before the Battle of Winterfell and the episode beforehand. They're all sitting around the fire thinking about, oh shit, we're about to die. Like the army of the undead's coming. Tormund comes in with a goat's horn filled with wine, and he sees
not wine.
It's
soured goat's milk, which is a real thing that got people fucking hammered.
Well, whatever it was, some sort of alcohol. He's getting that Jaime might be a threat to being to like romance between him and Brienne of Tarth, and he comes in and was just like, you know why they call me Giant's Bane?
Yeah, Tormund Giant's Bane.
Why they call me Giant's Bane? When I was 10 years old, I killed a giant, and his wife thought I was one of her children, so I suckled on her teat for months. That's why I'm so strong. Giant's milk.
And he just stares Brienne dead in the eye and just chugs this whole fucking horde of giants.
Is she impressed by this?
No, she's
she is just
disgusted by
disturbed
him.
like everybody else is.
She has no interest in him because she likes Jamie, and she has no interest in him. But anyway, so
That's gonna be odd.
so they leave, and Tormund's drunk in this scene in the first place, and he sees Brienne leave with Jamie, and Tormund, the big character, big savage character is, he starts to cry. He's like, I loved her so much.
So yeah, Tormund was complaining. No, Tormund was like, you thought he was gonna go fight Jamie and like go kill him for Brienne, and like because he's like this giant tough guy. Later was like, oh shit, and then it just cuts to him sobbing to a guy who's literally just drinking in misery and doesn't want to talk to anybody, and it's just so funny. He's just like, I loved her. I loved her since I first saw her, and then this golden prick just takes her away from me.
Yeah. But anyway, so Jamie goes into her room, takes her virginity. So they're now a couple. And then Jamie goes off at the end of the episode because he realized that he has to confront Cersei. And now he's considered the fuckboy of the Seven Kingdoms.
Yeah, it really is. It's just like, I can understand why he's leaving.
No, but they're brother and sisters.
Well,
but
I know that hasn't stopped them in the past.
Brothers and sisters with benefit. He's had sex on one of his son's coffin. It was.
That awkward scene. You'll get there. I'm gonna make one last point because it's
his
like
son again?
Joffrey and Tommen as well.
Yeah,
and whoever the baby that Cersei has now, because Cersei's pregnant, and Euron, who is their ally.
That on the page. It's my favorite meme that the actor who plays Euron, it's literally just like Euron looking up from the ship and can't see, and it's literally just the dragon with like a taillet that says, "You are not the father."
But so Euron and Cersei had sex, and he thinks that Cersei is pregnant with his child, but Jamie is almost sure that it's his because she was pregnant when he left, and Euron didn't show up until a few weeks later, and then like in this recent episode, Tyrion goes, I know you're a strong mother. You care about your children, and don't put the life of your unborn baby at risk. And Euron kind of looks over and was like, how does he know? Because like now he's gonna start, and that's another thing that might be discussed. And if it doesn't get discussed, if it completely flies over Euron's head, I'm gonna be pretty upset.
Dude, I'm gonna. All right, my last point. I'm sorry. I know you want to talk about Endgame, and I'm really happy. Euron is my favorite villain so far because it's just. I know I'm biased because Pirate King and all that shit. No, because Euron is the only villain right now who literally just has like zero fucks. Like he'll go in, just completely just make everybody uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I love that. I love a villain after a show that's like all this hidden political intrigue, which is interesting. It is interesting, and it's what drawn me into the show. And then you just throw a guy who just doesn't give a shit about that. I love it.
Yeah, but so it'll be interesting if Game of Thrones actually dives into perhaps Euron will, think for a second and wonder how Tyrion knew that. If the only three people that were supposed to know would be Cersei, Euron, and then whoever that dude in the robes are. I don't know his name now.
Oh,
the one that created the mountain.
Yeah.
But anyway, so we'll see what Game of Thrones throws at us tonight. We have another 3 hours until episode 5 comes out.
Game of Thrones at us.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Anyway, so we're gonna move on to Endgame. It's been 2 weeks since it released. It's now number 2 it's the second highest grossing movie to exist.
It's gonna pass.
It broke the opening weekend record.
But you know what else broke it? Detective Pikachu just broke it.
You're kidding.
For the Friday night opening.
That's amazing.
Yeah, but then you got to realize you got China and all that. But
superhero movies kill in China.
Yeah,
they do really well.
I wasn't too surprised.
That's amazing, truly amazing.
But
I think Ryan Reynolds driven movies that are like this with the satire have done really well. Like Deadpool's have done really well.
Because he's doing stuff he believes in and loves now. So
yeah,
good.
But
Ryan Reynolds found his niche.
So I'm gonna say this before anything else. Hulk Ruffalo deserves his own movie.
I could not take him seriously.
I loved every second with Mark Ruffalo as the Hulk.
I saw it with Mark, Lex, and Abby.
I saw it with a bunch of friends too, and it like I legitimately I got angry stares because I could not stop laughing during that whole scene with Mark Ruffalo.
Before we go into that, I just want to settle something real quick. Back when we were talking about speculations for this movie, I said that Adam Warlock would be more relevant in the Avengers movie than Howard the Duck.
What a time.
I was right out of pure fucking...
Stop. Let me finish. I was 100% wrong. And I'm shocked that I was, because I was honest to God, I thought that none of them would be in this movie. Because the more and more I thought about it, I was like, shit, this is going to actually end this arc, and Guardians 3 is going to be like a whole new one. So I was right about that part. Guardians 3 is like a whole new arc.
Yeah.
And Howard the Duck had a scene as part of the heroes in the final fight against Thanos.
Did he really?
Yes, he was. He was in at the bottom left corner right when the portal started opening.
Imagine
you had to glance to catch it. It was very quick.
I was too upset. I was too like...
I thought at first, I didn't think it was... I thought it was just like another rocket or something, like another like flying animal. But then I looked on YouTube, I watched a video, like 10 things that you missed, and Howard the Duck was one of them. And I went back and watched the footage. Howard Duck is there. Christ. So I was wrong, 100%. I'll admit it here.
God. Did you also see that Foggy was in it too?
Who?
So
Foggy Nelson?
Yeah, he was in the support group with Cap. It was literally like it was a panned out shot that lasted like less than a second. But you saw like the side of Foggy's face, so it's kind of he's there because either
Foggy?
Was he next to the Russo brother that he was talking to
from Daredevil? Froggy.
No, it's Foggy Nelson.
I always thought his name was Froggy. I only watched the first 2 episodes of Daredevil.
That's Foggy Nelson.
Foggy. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's either like. Either Murdoch was snapped or what's her name was snapped, or it was like he was there for a reason.
Yeah, well, at that point that means that Murdoch should have been there.
No,
yeah, but he wasn't.
Well, yeah, because
so that's when All right, so one thing I want to talk about Endgame, and I don't know if you guys want to go into what we liked first or immediate speculations afterwards. I don't know what you guys want to go into.
Yeah, why don't we just do our general? We are all going to have pretty much the same opinions. We all kind of
loved it.
I thought it was awesome.
I thought it was by far the best Marvel movie.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Far. Best by far.
How, actually...
Just a tad better than Spider-Man 3, but pretty good.
I think...
All right, there you go.
I was going
to say that as a joke, but no.
I think I can put Endgame... I can probably group Endgame and Infinity War together as probably the best Marvel movie. Because Endgame, the ending of Endgame... hit like a rock.
I cried for the last 20 minutes of that movie.
I think that's probably going to be one of the biggest movie moments of our generation, in my opinion.
Which part? Tony dying?
No.
Or Captain America dancing in the house?
No. In Infinity War, when we realized Thanos won, and
I said Endgame first. That's why.
And then because even with me, I was thinking the entire movie, I was just like, how are they going to be Thanos in the next 20 minutes, and then we're going to somehow get a sequel of him coming back? No, they got our ass kicked, and like that was such a shock to me. I felt
my heart like rip.
Yeah, and like
it's very rare in cinematic, and you're right, it's very rare in cinematic history where you get a true gut reaction like that. And it hit a lot of people like a fucking rock.
That's where you switch over. You have to think your expectations from a comic book fan standpoint versus a movie fan standpoint.
Yeah.
Movies aren't supposed to end like that, but comic books end like that all the time.
Oh yeah, you're right.
So that's where you have to think about it, because you're doing a comic book movie, so you're gonna get a comic book ending.
Yeah, but the majority of fans weren't expecting that.
Because said it because they beat Ultron, they beat Loki at his best.
Yeah.
So you got all these guys that are established villains, people that mean business, and then you get beat by Thanos, who you haven't truly seen since the first Avengers in an end credit scene. And no one knew what they were doing with them until they finally started to build up the Infinity Stones, and everybody's like, all right, they're going to do the Infinity Gauntlet storyline from the 90s. So.
I'm also going to say I was not surprised at all, but it was more because the Hawkeye and Black
Falcon?
Widow scene, where it was just, which one of us this is going to be? I'm just like, well, Scarlett Johansson doesn't have a new show coming out, so I'm pretty sure it's her that's going to jump off.
Yeah, she does.
She has a movie coming out.
Oh, yeah. Really?
It's a prequel, which is another thing. I wish they would have made the prequel in this generation.
Yeah.
Because I feel like we would have... Because I don't
think anybody's going to care about it.
Yeah, when Black Widow died, I'm still going to see it, but when Black Widow died, I was like, that's a shame. I don't know if I would have felt too bad if either of them died, because Hawkeye... Well, I know you guys are both fans of Hawkeye, but
I'm not. But are you serious? Like, you think Hawkeye wasn't going to get a bigger reaction? Hawkeye from the beginning of Endgame...
I would have flipped.
I'm saying from my opinion that I wouldn't have had because you guys are more into the comics than I am. I'll completely come out and say that I'm more into the movies. Yeah, and so I'm not as connected to those two characters. I'm obviously more connected to the title characters that we've had, like Iron Man and all the Avengers. Like I would have, like, especially with Tony dying at the end.
What you should do. Yeah, that's how you want to be.
Yeah.
You don't want to be rooting for the home team, but like their worst player kind of deal. Yeah.
And so when Black Widow died, I was like, that's a shame, I guess. I didn't feel too connected to her.
I didn't care.
Because I feel like she was too much of a side character. They never really explained who she was, which is what this prequel is going to be. It's going to be about her. I know she had something to do with Russia, right? Wasn't she a spy for Russia?
Yeah. Well,
she was for like a Red Sparrow of some sort.
I think it's going to pick up to where it ends where she gets kidnapped right before Avengers. You know, the scene where she's like talking to Nick Fury on the cell phone in Avengers.
Mm-hmm.
I've also all right, I'm in the middle of something. So I think that's where it's going to end. Like, or the after credit scene is going to be that scene.
I've also never been so sad to be more wrong about what I said in previous podcasts, where I was just like, oh yeah, it might be Kate. I've never been more upset that I've been wrong. So I'm just like, oh, I'm wrong. That's its daughter. Oh, fuck, I'm wrong. I know what's going to happen. And it just ripped my heart out. Because it's just like that snap took his whole family. I'm just like,
oh, yeah, that was a hard scene, too, because it was complete. I love when directors know they don't need music to tell. Because music can be used really well to tell a story. But it also can be absent of it.
We could do a whole episode on how cinema music creates moods for scenes. Like, we could do a whole friggin' episode on it.
Yeah, the snap is completely silent. Mm-hmm. And when Hawkeye's family starts to disappear, because I was watching, Lex was sitting next to me, and I was just like, we were watching the beginning, and I leaned over and I was like, his family's going to get snapped. And she's like, no, it's not. Shut up. And then it happened. She looked over and was just like, yeah. Like,
Brianna was crying when that happened, I think.
Yeah.
I was just like,
my family got snapped.
Ronin.
Yeah.
My family got snapped, so I took it out on the Japanese.
Well, to be fair, the Ronin is him literally saying "fuck you" to everything because his family was murdered, and it's just like "fuck you" to everything. No criminal deserves to live. He basically took the Punisher.
I remember he was on Jimmy Kimmel.
Stealth ninja.
He was on Jimmy Kimmel or Jimmy Fallon, one of the two. Oh, no, it was definitely Kimmel because Kimmel's a comic book fan.
Jimmy Fallon.
Shut up. Jimmy Kimmel.
Stephen
and he was like, so does this mean Hawkeye becomes Ronin? And Jeremy Renner's like, that's not what that means. Nope. Mm-mm. It's like he was playing it off like it was definitely going to happen. But
it'd be like, maybe the show will focus on Ronin?
No, absolutely not. Man. Ooh, but it's a Hawkeye show.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I think now that he has his family back, I don't think he has that guilt to want to do that.
We also have no idea what that show is going to be.
Yeah.
I would love it to be like a Fraction-esque kind of thing where it's just like, if Fraction's story was just like he didn't have a story. Mike has his headphones on backwards. What a fucking goof. Get a load of this guy.
It doesn't matter.
Fraction's story has like a Hawkeye where it's just like, look, man, he's been in 2 failing marriages and he's just on his own. And it starts with him getting buying out an apartment because he needed like a place to live and a family and wanted to do the right thing. So is he like, as much as I love Hawkeye having a family, I would love Fraction's story to get true justice and be involved in the show.
He was definitely Ronin in that movie.
Oh, yeah.
You can't argue. The haircut.
Yeah.
The haircut itself.
Mohawk guy.
Come on, man.
But yeah, so I want to continue on my last point of how Endgame's finale was probably one of the biggest moments in cinematic history.
Every hair on me just like fucking went up.
Yeah.
Where he's just like, assemble. And it's just that fucking scream charge, and I'm just like, I'm fucking ready. I would have jumped through the goddamn screen myself.
Yeah, that was such a big, like, that's why I didn't notice Howard the Duck, because I was too busy freaking out. Like, this is what we've been waiting for 11 years, is all of these characters all on one screen. A little upset Doctor Strange was busy keeping the water from flooding everyone and not actually, like, on the front lines.
He's got more shit to worry about now.
Yeah.
Doctor Strange is going to get 2 more movies. He's got Nightmare, and he's going to have Baron Mordo down the line. You're going to see a lot of Doctor Strange.
I wouldn't mind a Doctor Strange show somewhere down the line, too.
No, you're going to get movies.
Yeah.
He's
like
going to be a focal point of the Avengers.
Yeah.
I like how, so someone pointing out that in Ragnarok, when Loki and Thor are in New York City, and then Loki gets sent into this dimension, and then like he shows up at Doctor Strange's observatory, right? Yeah. So they're there, and like Doctor Strange is like, oh yes, I keep a watch for all of Earth's potential threats. And then like it's like cuts to Avengers Infinity War is like, Thanos is coming, and they're like, who's Thanos?
Yeah.
It's like, well, you haven't been keeping too much of a watch for a while, since Thanos has been going across the galaxy, just wiping off half populations of planets everywhere.
Well, he's got to focus on Earth. That's his job. He don't care about what's going on.
But it was potential threats to Earth.
Oh.
Yeah. But anyway.
He's too focused on Odin.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
So in Endgame, I really liked when they started talking about them doing time travel. I was like, the
way they did it was perfect.
I thought, yeah. Well, when they first started doing it, I was like, this is going to be weird.
And then we get a multiverse, possibly.
But well,
Secret Wars.
I think Secret Wars. There's a lot of things that we're hearing, but that all depends what Mysterio's saying in the Spider-Man.
I did
trailers.
like that because everybody was just like, because the spoiler of somebody getting those leaked film shots, so you're just like, oh, they're gonna definitely go back in time. So there was this theory of like, oh, Doctor Strange gave a fake time stone. I was just like, no, a rat saving the MCU was better than all of the fan theories that were coming out of what was gonna happen.
And I really enjoyed them going back to the first Avengers. I thought that was really well done.
I like that too. And Ultron.
Shout out to America's ass.
Now we know Loki is alive because the Russo brothers confirmed that Loki was killed in the beginning of Infinity War, that was going to be the end of him there.
I don't think he's alive. He's alive in that alternate reality. But not in the one we have now.
No, I think he would still be alive since he escaped.
He used the Tesseract in an alternate reality.
So you have Loki C1 who's dead in Infinity War.
You definitely have a multiverse in that aspect now that Loki.
Well, they're making a show on him. He's going to be on Disney+.
So that would be Loki C1-2, whereas like he's in that reality, but because time fucked up, it's now an alternate reality where that's -2 Loki.
But Loki's doesn't he have a new show coming out on Disney+?
Oh no, yeah. No, Loki's alive.
But he also has the Tesseract.
Just not OG Loki. OG Loki's dead. Alternate timeline Loki's alive.
Exactly. That's why you'll have a Loki show. Plus, it's only a 10 episode miniseries though.
I want Hulk. I want a Hulk movie. I want a Hulk show.
You're gonna get
I don't give a shit if it's Hulk Ruffalo or not.
I think we're probably going to get like a Planet Hulk type thing.
Are you saying Hulk or Hawk?
Hulk.
I'm
going to say, all right, how about this? I'm going to say Hulk Ruffalo because that was the best part of that movie.
I agree. The diner scene had me dying.
I was
like, you know what my autograph? I'm Ant-Man. You know what my autograph?
There was 2 scenes where it was just like I got glares at. It was the Hulk Ruffalo scene because me and my buddy Mike were losing our shit for too long. Like we missed dialogue because we were laughing so goddamn hard at just him normally talking. Like I was also laughing because
I consider this a win.
I consider this an absolute win.
And
the other, can I say the other
ahead.
part real quick? The other part was the elevator scene with Kat, because me and my buddy were just like, oh shit, he's gonna beat the shit out of him. Oh my god, I'm so happy. I'm just like, oh, everybody's gonna get an ass whooping, and then it just surpassed that. When it's just
Hail Hydra.
Hail Hydra, and he leaves.
That is America's ass.
That is, shout out to America's ass.
And I also really liked them. So right after they defeated Loki, they gave insight to what happened afterwards. You had
that cleanup that nobody ever cares about.
Yeah. So what was the department that was in Spider-Man? Is that cleanup service or something?
Vulture.
Yeah, but that wasn't.
Vulture's company was cleaning up after the Avengers.
Yeah, up until Stark's company took over. Yeah.
That's what the whole vengeance is against.
But I also they touched on that a little bit. I like how Hulk hates stairs. I was dying when that.
I was also dying because
so many stairs.
I laughed harder than no one else laughed at, because it was just like, I'm going down to do search and rescue. Then you have Loki just say, I'm going down to do search and rescue. Do you hear how you sound?
And like they're all sitting on the elevator, and Hulk is going to go, whoa, maximum capacity, dude.
It's like, don't you? And then you just see.
It's just like they know their characters, and like the dialogue doesn't seem like it's forced comedy like maybe it is in Star Wars, because it feels like actual reaction. Like Tony Stark says snarky. He would say that to Hulk if Hulk tried to get on the elevator.
Well, you can't compare Tony Stark comedy to fucking Poe Dameron
fucking
comedy.
Unplugging Stark's chest.
Because Poe Dameron was Star Wars' version of comedic relief in that movie. And then it's a little bit of Finn's escapade. But, like, you're not supposed to watch Star Wars from the standpoint
Yeah, you're right.
of comedy. At this point, it's what we've come to expect, because Iron Man, the original Iron Man, was a riot.
Yeah.
And even Thor was funny. Captain America had its moments. So there was always wit in these movies, whereas episodes 1 through 6 were serious. And if you look at 1 through 3 especially, they were overly dramatized because of the way Hayden Christensen portrayed Anakin. A lot of people do say he played with no emotion. However, I think the exact opposite. He played like you should play Anakin, always in deep thought and in contemplation of where you're being pushed towards.
Not liking sand.
My hard drive's called I Hate Sand, and my manager plugged it in and was like, not a fan of sand. I was like, it's a Star Wars quote. And she goes, that goes right over my head.
All right, but I wanted to go back to, yeah, but you're right. That Avengers, the first Avengers, I did love all of that. There was nothing I didn't like about that.
I was a little upset they didn't touch on Ultron at all.
Because they were right, though. There were 3 stones in New York at one time.
Yeah, I know. I know they make sense timeline-wise, but, like, I feel like it would have been cool if they touched on Ultron just a little bit.
Just make sure they should have just like, all right, make sure you stay away from Ultron. Do not get noticed by Ultron, because then they'd be fucked.
Yeah.
But that's the only time they were in one city. That was also the point. You had 3 stones at the same place at the same time.
Oh yeah, I understand that, but I think like it would have been kind of a bit of a fan service.
It would have been
on Ultron a little.
I would have argued it was too much of a fan service.
However, they kind of touched on Ultron a little bit. And they touched on Civil War a little bit, is right after they rescue Stark from the ship and he blows up at Cap. It was like, I told you we needed a defense system, and I told you we needed to get this done.
But I have a friend, shout out to Emily if he actually does listen to this podcast. She's one of the few people I know who's pro Stark in Civil War, which, yeah. And
that actually makes me realize something else.
Sign the accord.
Everything Tony said, I was just like, if he died, I didn't care. But then I was just like, yeah, no, he's fatigued and he's just rambling. So I'm just like, all right, I kind of forgave him.
Weeks.
I kind of forgave him after I noticed how fucking thin he was.
Yeah, but one last point, one thing I want to get you guys' opinions about. The Russo brothers confirmed that Cap was always worthy to carry Thor's hammer. I don't like that.
No, he wasn't. In Ultron, when he's trying to pull the hammer, he kept it secret from Stark. That's why he couldn't lift the hammer.
No, but the Russo brothers confirmed that he was.
That's complete
I don't
fucking bullshit.
Like that. I don't like that at all.
That's
because
fucking
it's better for
bullshit.
Cap
No way.
to
It's a
experience-
known fact that he could not lift the hammer because he kept the secret from the
I'll
start.
pull it up
You
because
can't just
IGN
say that
report-
it's not
reported
Russo
it.
brothers.
I don't like what the Russo brothers would do that because it was basically he had to go through Civil War. He had to learn from his mistakes. He had to deal with 5 years post Infinity War. And I think that's what made him worthy.
If he was always worthy to lift that hammer, he would have lifted in Ultron.
Yeah.
And we would have had our answer. You don't need to pull up the quote, Mike. Like, I understand, but the Russo brothers are wrong for saying
here
that.
it is. So, the Russo brothers revealed recently that Captain America has always been capable of picking up Thor's hammer.
No. I disagree
This
with
is
that
taking
theory.
off his headphones.
Fucking bullshit, dude. It's bullshit.
Yeah, because
No.
like it
It's
is.
bullshit.
Yeah, the thing is, though, the Russo brothers are the only people that would agree with that theory.
Come
So
on.
it's kind of like
Are you
I
serious?
do hate it.
What are they? How can you just do that to your own goddamn movie?
I do hate it when
How?
directors do that. It's also I don't want to
they
drag
kinda-
J.K.
They're-
Rowling through the mud. But
Same
it's also
thing with
why
the-
I don't like people adding sorry for interrupting.
No,
Susan.
I'm sorry
I
for
don't,
interrupting.
No, because you're right. I do not like it when directors do that. I do not like it when writers do that. You wrote your universe, and you're adding it just to get people's reaction, or you're adding it just to get extra fan base. I don't like that one bit.
No, because they also did it where the end credit scene never pans out to the actual movie. Like the end credit scene of Captain Marvel, where she goes, "Where's Fury?" That segued completely falsely into
Yeah, that never happened because she.
exactly. It was I was bullshit. So Captain
However-
Marvel you could throw out because that's a bullshit movie.
However, because she comes back, and she's like, "Where's Fury?" But then we see her. The next time we do see her is her rescuing Stark. They could be like, "Hey, this is what happened. We're missing 2 guys. They were last seen on Titan." And
But then she came back. Everyone's like, "Who the fuck are you?"
No, they didn't.
no,
That wasn't what that was.
Thor
They
was.
were no.
But Thor was there.
Thor. Wait, no, it wasn't more like who the fuck are you? It's just like who the fuck are you to say that you're better than us? And that was really what War Machine was doing. It was just like, well, no offense, but where the fuck were you? Like it was kind of that. It wasn't more like who the fuck.
And
are
then
you?
that
It's just like-
bullshit. There's more planets that don't have the same protection. Bitch,
She's
you're the
right.
strongest motherfucker in the galaxy.
But she's right though.
Are you
Superman,
fucking kidding me?
The thing is that we can argue that she's basically Superman for Marvel, but at the same time, hold
She's
on.
not.
Superman can't be at every planet at once. And
I'm
she's
gonna-
right. There are other planets that were going through that shit like
Mungie,
worse than her.
I will unplug your mic if you ever say that again.
What, the Superman thing?
Yes.
Well, it's just like when you have like this what is basically a not plot.
Mike, that's just like me saying.
What's the term? I'm losing the term. What's
That's
the
just
term
like me
for someone
saying
being
that Reese
overpowered
Hoskins is just
for
like
the
Babe
sake
Ruth.
of plot?
Plot armor.
Yeah, but it's not plot armor.
Well, there's like, I mean,
all
Mary
right.
Sue or like
They're trying
Mary
to
Sue.
buff her. They're
Yeah,
trying
when
to
you
buff her for no reason.
When you have like basically what is basically like a plot armor, like a plot buff, you have to have a reason to justify that she wasn't there. I'm not defending it, but that's the reason. I don't disagree with
I'm just
that.
mad now that you called her the Superman of Marvel.
Well, it's kind of like I'm
That's
not
complete
saying she
bullshit.
is, but it's just like if Superman made the same excuse where it's just like, well, I can't be on every planet, would you hate him for it?
But Superman lives on fucking Earth.
Yeah.
Superman lives on Earth.
Yeah, but to back.
Captain
You can
Marvel
say the Green Lantern Corps is like Captain Marvel because the Green Lantern Corps defends other planets that aren't Earth.
Yeah, but Captain Marvel wasn't on Earth either, so you're reinforcing my point.
But no, what I'm saying is Superman is not like Captain
All right,
Marvel.
you're
At this point, this is
focusing.
a
You're
different
focusing on
argument now.
something I didn't mean to intentionally say. I was just trying to compare.
However, Captain Marvel should not be as strong as she is because she's a team superhero. She's Guardians of the Galaxy at this point. That's how her character has been written. If they want to keep it modern, which they've been doing with most of their character descriptions, they're going to make her a team player. Which making her this strong is complete bullshit because now you can resent Captain Marvel for not being there the whole time. I think they made her way too powerful for her role in the film. That's all.
No,
I don't
you're
have
right.
a problem with. I have a problem with her having this much power based on the fact of how much exposure they never gave her.
Yeah.
That's all.
Back to Cap being able to lift Thor's hammer. I'm also upset because I liked the idea of Cap having the weight on his soul of knowing that that Bucky was responsible for Tony's parents' death. I thought that was great because Cap is similar to Captain Marvel, not in strength, but that he's morals, that he's the good boy, he's the Boy Scout, and giving him the flaw of being like okay, not necessarily okay, but living
he
with.
He understands why it's happened.
Yeah.
Because he was under Hydra's influence and he couldn't control it. And that's his best friend.
Yeah.
But also, like, knowing because it kind of goes against how Cap wants to be, like, you know, good to everyone, be a good person.
And that's exactly why he can't lift the hammer in Age of Ultron.
Yeah.
But
it also creaked, so it was kind of like he was almost
exactly
there, which I loved that. That was my favorite part.
That's what makes that scene so funny. And then they go to Black Widow's like, Tosh, don't you want to try it? And she's like, that's not a question I need answered. Like, it was pretty funny. Yeah. But the Russo brothers said that he couldn't lift the hammer because of the reasons that we've mentioned before.
But they ran back and said it. IGN reported.
But it's been known that they said that before. They can't just say that. That's bullshit on them. Like, I'm actually very disappointed
also,
in
like,
saying that.
What reason would Cap have to, like, fool Thor and all of them? Like, how would he know that he would be able to lift it beforehand? Unless they're saying that somehow Cap was able to pick up Thor's hammer, was like, oh shit, I'm not supposed to be able to do this, and then put it back down. Like,
if so, they should have made that an after credits scene after Age of Ultron.
And if they're saying that, like, that Cap at that moment realized he could lift the hammer, but in a split second was just
it doesn't make sense at all.
It's one thing if it was sitting there and his shield was broken, right? Wasn't his shield like broken at that point?
In
Ultron?
Endgame?
No, Endgame. Oh, I thought you were talking about.
No, we're talking about
Endgame.
Ultron.
When he picked up
Endgame. The scene where the hammer flies by, hits Thanos, and then it's revealed that Cap has the hammer. The entire audience I was with screamed like, "Oh shit!"
And then Thor goes, "I knew it!"
The guy behind me was just like, "Kick his fucking ass!" No, I kept getting goosebumps during that whole scene. But like me and Mike were also the same way. My buddy Mike, there's a fourth Mike that I keep referencing, but he was next to me.
Mike number 4.
Because I can't remember. Cap throws the hammer. And then throws the shield, and then it hits Thanos in the back of the head, and I'm just like, "Oh my god, I love it!"
Yeah, it was that scene was awesome. It was so good.
It's also before we go into
before we go into speculations, final ratings.
10 out of 10.
10, yeah.
10 out of 10.
Yeah, it was the perfect. It was probably.
It is rated 3 mics out of 3 mics.
It gets a CYC score of 30 out of 30.
Yeah, and I think that was probably one of the best wrap-ups to a series I've ever seen.
I cried. And people were... There's also all the memes coming out with Cap dealing with the past. Some of which...
Oh, yeah, it was like... Well, it was Cap getting in, like, being taken away, and it's just like Cap at the World Trade Center, September 10th, 2001. Stop. It's like, I have to tell them.
No, he's right, because I didn't want to say the other ones. Like, it was also Cap dealing with, like, Nam. It's just, like, there's a lot of struggle of, like, going back in a timeline, and there's that moral... But I feel like only Cap could deal with that moral thing well. It's like, I'm not going to mess with the content. I'm going to enjoy my marriage.
What I liked, and what was pissing me off, people on Twitter were getting mad that Steve Rogers had his send-off when he went back in time and didn't do Captain America thing. Everyone was mad at that. There were a lot of people that were mad at the fact that he went back in time and danced with his wife and stayed in that timeline, instead of coming back as normal Captain America to protect the people of his time.
I was arguing with somebody, too, because I'm just like, how they made Cap way too old. And I'm just like, Cap at that bench is over 120. If you think about the math, he is at least over 100 years old.
He was graying in Endgame. Like, you could see streaks of gray in his hair.
He is at least over 100 years old, and he looks like he's 70. I don't care.
It's a plot hole. Well. It's a plot hole that people don't care.
He's also a super soldier, so he has the genetics.
No, I'm not disagreeing with that. People were complaining that it was just like, oh no, he's too old because the super serum should have kept him young.
That's
what people were complaining about.
I haven't heard that one. I heard that it broke his character. Like it was something he wouldn't do.
Cap deserves to be selfish and enjoy his marriage because the world was saved.
But I was hearing opposite of that it's against Captain America's morals to be selfish.
No.
That's what... No offense, but why are you disagreeing with me over things I've heard from other people?
No. I'm saying no because I'm agreeing with you.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry. That's what I'm saying. You're. I'm saying no because the point you're making. No, I'm saying no to that. Sorry.
Yeah, I was thinking, and that's what, I don't know if you saw my Twitter, but I tweeted, it was like, if you have a problem with the way they sent out Steve Rogers, you're a fucking fool. And that was my tweet, verbatim. Yeah. But I thought that was perfect. I cried because of that. I cried over...
I did think he was going to die, though. I didn't see Tony dying. I'll be completely honest.
I thought
Captain America was going to die, too. I thought it made the most sense.
Someone made the point that they think... Well, Peter's wearing Tony's glasses that he wore in Infinity War. This is a good segue into what our speculations is with Spider-Man coming out in 2 months. Is that so? People are saying that Peter might make Tony the AI of his spider suit.
I would love that.
I think it'd be really well.
Tony has come back in AI for Ironheart and somebody else.
And that's what that. And I got a little annoyed when Mark was saying. Shout out Mark Greco, but I'm going to put you a little on blast here because I was a little salty. But when you said, yeah, but Ironheart's AI is Tony Stark. And I was about to say in our group chat, I was like, I don't care. I wanted to be Peter Parker's instead.
I feel like it would be more humble and more of their arc since...
Slightly creepy, but...
Well, yeah, Tony was Peter's father figure.
Yeah,
because
you got to understand.
At least in this series, because obviously it was always been...
It depends how they do that. It just makes me uncomfortable. I don't know why, because it's just like, I wonder how they'll play it, because it's just like, he's an AI, he's dead. But they need to play that.
But he has the personality traits. That's all you need.
Yeah, it's like another Jarvis. It's not so much that like it's supposed to be another Tony, but it's just like, it's Tony's consciousness into a machine. But, oh God, what was I going to say?
Moreover, yeah.
But because Tony was Peter's father figure, he looked up to him. Because in this run of Spider-Man, we didn't have an Uncle Ben. We all know who Uncle Ben is, but we didn't have.
I'm so glad.
Because it was a part. It was a part of a story we didn't need told.
Yeah, because for Peter, Uncle Ben was his father figure. And in this version, obviously Uncle Ben existed because you can't have Peter Parker Spider-Man without Uncle Ben's storyline. And I feel like them having Tony as his father figure and him becoming his suit AI. We don't know if that's ever going to happen, but I think it'd be really well done.
Yeah, to clarify, Mark, I was mad when you said that because I knew it was true. I knew it probably is too good to be true. But if that ever happened, man, I'd be more than happy.
Yeah.
I'm happy.
So we have Far From Home coming out soon.
I'm excited.
So Peter does still... We see that Peter does have his Iron Spider suit still. He keeps it after Endgame.
And he also has a Ninja Spider suit, too.
Yes, but he probably gets that from S.H.I.E.L.D. or from Fury.
So I was in the comic book store the other day. I was talking about Far From Home. And the owner of the comic book store, I'm not going to mention his name because I haven't talked to him about this podcast yet. And I didn't want to put him on blast. But he was saying what he thought of Far From Home. And I thought it was very interesting. So basically, Mysterio, Quentin Beck, is lying. He's lying about all that.
By far.
But he made Nick Fury to be an illusion to draw in Spider-Man to come and believe that he was Mysterio, the good guy. And they use because hold on. Let me just explain the whole thought because it'll answer any questions you're about to ask.
Yeah.
We already have a good amount of the Sinister Six already known. We have Vulture, we have Shocker. I think Vulture and Shocker are the main two that we have.
Did Vulture live through Homecoming? Did he survive?
He's in jail.
Okay.
He's in jail with
Shocker. He's in jail with Shocker.
And what's his name? Scorpion's name.
Just Scorpion. We'll just go Scorpion.
Okay, yeah.
And Scorpion. And then figure now you have Mysterio. He's an original member of Sinister Six. So you got 4. So you got 2 more. So you can either, in this one, what he thought is he's using Chameleon to be the doppelganger for Nick Fury and have him under disguise as of one of his illusions. Mm-hmm. So they're fooling Peter Parker this whole time. Or Spider-Man. This way
for comics, he can that would definitely happen.
Exactly. But I still think they could work this into the movie. Yeah. And then the elementals are all smoke and mirrors to where that Quentin Beck is a huge liar. And then there's going to be one more member that gets introduced as the overall mastermind of the Sinister Six. And that's going to be Doc Ock in the next Spider-Man movie that does come out. And then from there, you're going to have Avengers versus Sinister Six or Spider-Man versus Sinister Six. And you're going to have a bunch of the Avengers in it.
Definitely, Spider-Man versus Sinister Six. I want that in a movie.
Which could see you could see either that or then Secret Wars. So basically, the way we're looking at it is if Mysterio is lying about a multiverse, Sinister Six. But if you have it true, you can have either Sinister Six or Secret Wars, which I thought was very interesting.
With them, see, I kind of more on the side that I hope that he is confirming of the multiverse, because now that Fox is wrapping up X-Men. Marvel and Disney now have they're still doing the legal process of them merging together. Yeah. But they own the property of X-Men, Deadpool, and they don't own all of Spider-Man. It's Fantastic Four, and they don't own all of Spider-Man's.
And they also have Venom.
They have Venom now? Yeah. Venom was Sony still.
Well, Sony still does all the Spider-Man movies, so they can incorporate that as they want to.
But who made the last Venom movie? Was that...
It was Sony Pictures, yeah. But that's a different story arc they're going in. Yeah. But they could still technically do Venom because Sony Pictures, I believe, does the Disney versions of Spider-Man too.
This wasn't a complaint about
Venom
the trailer,
is a fan favorite. Is my favorite.
What did you say?
Venom is a big favorite for mine in terms of villain. Yeah. Spider-Man's probably my favorite Marvel hero.
Well, Venom's not really a villain.
Well, he's an anti-hero. But he's I find him a really cool character, as well as I hope that in this generation of Marvel movies we do see a Green Goblin come to power. I think that's going to happen because
Willem Dafoe.
So many ways.
Oh my god,
they can't read. That's the sad part. But as long as they use
Spider-Man,
as long as they
sorry, sister.
What's the name of the guy who played J. Jonah Jameson?
Oh.
J.K. Simmons. Simmons. As long as they use J.K. Simmons as J. Jonah Jameson again, I'll be happy.
There's a meme I'm going to post into the chat too with him.
Have they ever really touched on Peter being a photographer?
No.
Not
yet. Because they haven't really touched on him trying to be a journalist either.
Or a scientist. So that's because he did do
scientist, yeah, because he's telling everyone he had the Tony Stark
internship.
Yeah. So he's something of a scientist himself.
Yeah.
So that's why Ravioli. I think, and this segues into our topic. We wanted to talk about what's next for the Marvel universe, and that's that. Spider-Man is our next Iron Man. He is the center of this Marvel universe for the ongoing future.
Yeah, and if we go in for another,
if the trailer proves anything, I'm sorry for interrupting. That Iron Man suit's gone. That Spidey suit's gone for a reason, because you have, unless there is a multiverse and the Noir suit is another Spider-Man, because you do see a Noir, the Spidey Noir
Cole
suit.
Phelps, LAPD.
Shut up. The Spider-Man Noir suit in the new trailer. And I'm also hyped for that because I love the fact that Noir is coming into mainstream. But he has to lose that suit for some reason.
And those are the questions that Jon Favreau, I think, is the director of the Spider-Man movie.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the questions Jon Favreau always has you ask in these trailers.
He loses.
He always has you asking questions. Exactly.
With the Iron Spider suit?
Yeah, because in the trailers he's not.
But here's the thing. No, because a lot of people are saying because he's going on vacation, he's putting Spider-Man in New York.
Oh yeah, and then Aunt
May packs.
That was great because it's just like she just looks and she's like, "You can't have this," and it's the banana, and I'm just like, "Yeah, no." That's great. That's a great excuse to why the spider suit's in London.
I also like how in the trailer they have MJ was like, Pete's like, I have to tell you something. She's like, you're Spider-Man. He's like, how do you know that? Well, and everyone's just like, because they all went to Europe and Spider-Man followed them. It's like, obviously you are.
Or you magically weren't there when we were falling in the elevator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that kind of plays the trope of the super, like, the
and
common
Ned
super.
knows.
You also ran away.
Well, Ned knows, yeah. He was the first people to find out.
Yeah.
You also ran away to fight your date's dad, you know? Like, your dad... Oh, God, I can't talk.
Also, you were snapped.
Yeah.
Like...
so were all of them.
Well, we don't know that, actually. But
No,
we
you
know
do,
all the
because
kids
none
are
of them
snapped.
aged 5 years.
That's true.
What do you mean?
Well, we don't know that.
Ned, there's no
I
way
know.
Ned went back to school. Ned has got snapped too.
Ned would be a fucking adult at this point. All right.
But, yeah, and I'm excited. I think... But I do think it was funny that they did play with that hero, like, stereotype that, like with Clark Kent, like, no one knows he's Superman because he's wearing glasses. Superman doesn't wear glasses. And it's like, they're playing with that because everyone was kind of, like, supposed to be,
Also,
like...
I want to point
Well,
out...
no one, even in the comic books now...
I want to point out Tom Holland's Spider-Man, he never wears his fucking mask.
Yeah.
Only rarely.
Also,
yeah.
hey, he jumped out of the bus for the field
Exactly.
trip, and no one noticed a guy putting on a Spider-Man mask on an open highway. I'm calling
Exactly.
bullshit on that, too.
And in the trailer of Far From Home, he's talking to Quentin Beck with his mask off.
He always does, and that physically bothers me a lot more
Because
than it should. Because
I'm telling you, it's because of Nick Fury being there that he trusts Quentin Beck. Because if he's talking to Nick Fury...
Yeah, but Spider-Man has been on dates wearing his fucking mask. Like, he does it, he never, in the comics, it is never off.
Well, it's different. They're setting up a new character.
I know,
they've
but
introduced him
it
as a
still
different
physically bothers me.
personality.
It's like, dude, you gotta protect your family. That's the point of wearing the goddamn mask.
My name is Peter Parker. What's your name? Doctor Strange. Oh, we're doing fake names?
Yeah, he
Spider-Man.
introduces with his real goddamn name. Tony, like, met Doctor Strange yesterday. And, like, there is no reason why Peter shouldn't trust him. Like, he should keep the goddamn mask on.
Yeah.
He's a kid. That's the fun part.
I'm consistently peaking because I realized how angry I just got.
It's
all
fine.
blue.
Just want to apologize. We clearly didn't adhere to the warning that we would be talking over each other, so we're sorry. But
No, we did better. I did
doing
notice
okay.
people saying that, yeah, we did talk over each other a lot because we got excited with Star Wars. But we do catch each other.
we
Four
clearly got
grown
excited.
men in
better.
their 20s getting excited about Star Wars that they keep interrupting each other. What a time. Yeah, so I think that kind of wraps up our conversation with Avengers and all of them. We can move on to our next topic that we have here.
I mean, we are at an hour 30. I can keep talking if you want.
If we want to wrap it up, it's fine.
Yeah, I'm going to recommend a PS4 for free is Overcooked. It's a very underrated, like, great party game, and that was my underrated game segment. Shake your head all you want.
I was just
all
shaking
of us
my head.
yelling to get the fucking onion and put it in the goddamn stew. That'd be a great time to just have a stream. That's a potential stream game for me.
Oh yeah, recently I've been playing.
Because I can imagine
Mordhau.
you doing your Gordon Ramsay impressions.
Yeah, so I've been playing Mordhau, and that's always been my game for a few weeks.
I've been catching up on Battlefront 2.
Really?
I've been playing offline mode, which has been a blast. They must have released a patch update where you can play as any hero online now, because that's been a blast.
Yeah, I've been playing.
Everybody's unlocked. I have credits now. Loot boxes aren't that bad. It's not very fun playing online because the curve is very big. But offline is fun in like hour batches. If you play like an hour or two at a time, it's so much fun.
I've also been playing The Long Dark because they had a post-big patch that was big enough and altered everything enough that we deleted all of your saves post this patch.
Yeah.
But you still, if you completed the episodes, you completed the episodes. It's just your saves aren't there.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, anyway. Well, so thank you for listening to this episode. Actually, next week, or our next episode will actually be on Memorial Day weekend. And I do have a few topics that I have relating to summer, since Memorial Day is the unofficial summer holiday, or beginning of summer. And I'm the horror fan of the podcast here, so I have a few horror movies that I think are good to watch during the summer. Do you have something to say, Sisto?
The It 2 trailer.
Yeah, we'll discuss that.
Look, be on the lookout for
summer horror movie, The Thing.
Yeah. But I'm talking like movies like Friday the 13th and stuff. But
I was just joking.
We'll discuss that next episode. But
or Holes.
And
Holes.
We'll probably talk. Well, we're definitely going to talk about the new
Rango.
Shut up. We have the new Game of Thrones tonight, and then we have the final episode next week. So the finale of Game of Thrones will be happening in between episodes. So we'll definitely be talking about that next episode. So, yeah. So, thank you all for joining. I'm Mike Marcucci.
I'm Mike Manjoli.
And I'm a whole lot of fun to take out on a date.
Is that what Brianna tells you?
Goddamn right.
All right.
He is.
And he is Sisto. Well, anyway, thanks for listening. Thanks for all your support. And thanks for following us on our social medias. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. On Twitter and Instagram, we're C_Y_character, and on Facebook, we're Choose Your Character. And we're also on Twitch, so we'll announce when we stream. We don't do it that often, but we'll let you guys know. We're trying to hit 200 likes by the end of the summer on Facebook. We definitely can do it. And also subscribe to our YouTube. We do post these podcasts on the YouTube if you listen to on these podcast streaming services. So anyway, thanks for listening. Have a good week.
Enjoy your week, guys.
Godspeed, Spider-Man.
Godspeed, Spider-Man.
Sleep.
Sleep.